last night my friend Dustin came over to get cutting from my Philodendron gloriosum. So I'll show you how I took the plant that I have and pulled it apart into two different plants. And then I want to ask you guys, I've got a little node starting off of the other plant, and I want to get your opinion whether I should separate that or if I should leave it together as one plant. Also, I want to get your opinion of possibly moving from a regular soil and growing medium setup to hydroponic setup. So I used to do hydroponics a while ago. I was growing basil, and I just got to thinking I could grow my plant a lot quicker if I did it hydroponically using an ebb and flow system. So if that's something that you'd be interested in or want to see more of or think would be worthwhile, let me know. That way I can give it a try. I'm going to use voiceover for this video because, like I said, my friend Dustin came over to get some of this cutting, and we were just talking, having a good time. So I'm just walking around the plant, giving you guys a little inspection of what's going on. Those are some older leaves. The first one's a little sunburnt. That's a new leaf. That one unfurled properly. This leaf that I just touched was one of the ones I had to cut out, so that's why there's some damage on there. And then as you can see, there's some nice new growth. That leaf should bust any moment. There's also that new growth right there. That's going to be a leaf coming up shortly as well. So just a quick tour around the plant. You can see that I have my tarp out so that I can get soil all over the table without making too much of a mess. And now let's get to dividing this plant. Okay, here we go. I'm probably going to end up trimming some clips out of this video because it was pretty long. I was trying to be gentle, that way I wouldn't damage any of the plant or any of the roots. So I just very carefully slipped my trowel inside of the pot. I try to stay as close to the edge of the pot as possible, and I just work my way around, slowly loosening up the roots and trying to free the plant up so that I can remove it from the pot and separate my two cuttings. After using the trowel for a while, I decided to just use my hands, and I go in and gently feel around the pot to release the soil. Once everything's released, I go ahead and dump the plant out onto the table. So this part was a little stressful, just slowly shaking all of the soil out, and the philodendron comes right along with it. Right there, it is working its way out of the pot, and we are free. The two plants that are in there are already pretty much divided. That's from a lot of videos ago, back when I cut that main stem that was growing. So you see it just pulled right apart, and then I use my hands to gently untangle the roots from one another. And Dustin's just kind of pointing around. I think we're talking about who's going to take what part of the plant. But yeah, there's a few interesting things going on. So in my last two videos, you probably heard me saying how I thought I had 3 plants in the pot because a new shoot just came up out of nowhere. We can actually see in this video that the new shoot that I thought was a separate plant is actually an extension off of the original cutting that I was given. So I think before too long I'll zoom in, or at least bring the plant closer to the camera and show that to you guys. Well, I guess I don't ever show you guys what I was talking about with how what I thought was the third plant was growing off of the original stem. But now I'm going to go ahead and I put Dustin's plant in a pot that he brought over and just lightly pack it with some of the topsoil that I had originally in my larger pot. So we go ahead, get that all packed up, and I'm going to fast forward through this part because it's pretty boring. Now you get a little bit of a better view of that plant, and I'm going to try to zoom in and see if you can see where I'm talking about, how that new shoot that kind of came out of nowhere is actually attached to that thick main stem that was originally sent to me by NSE Tropicals. There, my fiance Kate was just pointing to it. So I think right now we're debating, should we cut that off and try to start an actual third plant from a cutting, or should we leave it as is and just let it grow? And I never came to a decision. I guess no decision is a decision, so we left it on. And I want to know what you think. Should I cut it and have a third plant, or should we leave it the way that it is and just let the Philodendron gloriosum continue to grow? So let me know in the comments down below. This part I'm just going to speed up really quickly. I really take my time putting the potting soil in. So just again, packing everything lightly with soil, and then afterwards I just water it in, make sure everything's nice and moist. But really nothing too special going on here. Once I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys what everything looks like. Alright, so here we go. Just a quick last tour around the plant now that it's been divided. So that's the portion that I'm going to keep. Looks really nice, and I'm going to put it back on the chair where it can get some indirect sunlight from that window in the background. Lots more space, and hopefully it'll encourage some new growth.